dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom. My dear students, today in Standard 6th Geography, we'll be learning the topic natural resources. We have already started this topic, and in the first part of this topic, we have discussed about the concept of natural resources with the help of the slides which are on the screen now. So the earth giving us the natural resources, then the uses of water, the definition of the natural resources, which was very simple, that the natural things that man uses are called natural resources. So it may be anything available naturally which we uses is under the concept of natural resources. It includes solar energy, water, wind, air, soil, trees, forest, wildlife, coal, petroleum, natural gas, minerals, and many more things. And in that also the resources which are unlimited and the resources which are limited, that's why they are invaluable. And then the air, uses of air, and then these images which are given in our textbook, agriculture, fishing. By using these images, we discussed about the natural resources. For example, in fishing, we discussed about the water as a natural resources, and in the picture of agriculture, we discussed soil as a natural resource. Then the collection of honey, drawing water, gathering wood, mining, mason at work, extraction of salt, natural rubber or latex, gathering of resin from trees, transportation by a pack animal. And then one by one we discussed about the natural resources, including soil, water, forest, which gives us number of things like medicinal plants and also all other uses of wood. Then the classification of plants, which includes tree, herbs, shrub, climber, creeper, and how the human life settled on the banks of the river, that also we have studied in the first part of this topic. Then in the natural vegetation and wildlife, today we are starting with the types of forests. We obtain products like wood, rubber, resin, fruits, and medicinal plants from forests. And if we consider the region from the equator to the poles as per the temperature zones, then we find the types of natural vegetation, and which includes the first one, equatorial evergreen forests. Equatorial evergreen forests at the equator, that is 0 degree. Then the second type, deciduous forest, or the falling off or shed seasonally type of forests at 15 degree. Then the tropical grassland 30 degree. Now we are moving from equator as per the temperature zones, and by that you can understand the vegetation also. For example, here in the deciduous forest or here in the equatorial evergreen forest, by the image you can understand the natural vegetation, like here in the tropical grassland. Then the next one, thorny scrubs and temperate grasslands at 45 degree. Then next to this is temperate or broadleaf and mixed forests at 45 degree. Then next to this, broad-leaved forests. Then the coniferous forests, where the bearing needle-leaved plants are there. You can see on the screen. Then the tundra forests at 90-degree pole. So this is what is the natural vegetation, and many animals make these forests their habitat. As we know, this animals lives in forests, and that's why it is the sentence in our textbook that many animals make these forests their habitat. Now it may be in the equatorial evergreen forests, or some animals may be in the deciduous forest, or some in tropical grasslands, or in thorny scrubs, or in temperate grasslands, or in mixed forests, or in broad-leaved forest, or in coniferous forest, or in tundra region also. Animals are different as per the nature of the jungle, or the variety in the, or the variation in the climatic conditions, but animals are there. Here you can see the animals. Here you can see the animals making habitat of their own in the jungle. So animals who prey on the plant-eating animals. Animals who prey on the plant-eating animals also live in the forest, and thus many food chains develop in the forest. So this is what on the screen you can see is food chain, and there are a number of food chains. Many food chains are there. This is called food chain. For example, this one is the bark of a tree in the फॉरेस्ट, और इस पे रहने वाला एक छोटा सा बर्ड है, स्मॉल बर्ड, फिर उसे खाने वाला स्नेक है, और स्नेक को खाने वाला फिर एक लार्ज बर्ड है. देन स्पाइडर इज ऑल्सो देयर. नाउ अगेन हियर इन द बेरीज रैकून इज देयर. देन द डियर है, देन फॉक्स, स्क्विरल and rabbit in the grass. So here you can see bark, acorns, berries, moss, leaves and grass. इस पे रहने वाले ये सारे एनिमल्स हैं. This is the sentence in our textbook. Animals who prey on the plant-eating animals also live in the forest. So thus many food chains develop in the forest. On the screen you can see one and another one again. Forests or grasslands are the habitats for many animals. Now here you can see deer जो grass पे depend है, फिर ये rodent है, यहाँ पर birds है, and then insects जो trees पर होते हैं, फिर उनको खाने वाले ये सारे animals है. This is what is the food chain. एक के ऊपर एक depend है for the food. So it is basically due to plants that we have got animals as a natural resources, and plants also grow in water, and it is very likely that in future we shall have to depend on aquatic plants for fulfilling the needs of the growing human population. Now we know that the population in the world is continuously growing, and the needs of the population for food also increasing due to the increase in the number of people. तो आज वाटर में जो एनिमल्स है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल फिश इज़ अ वेरी important thing in the food of human being. Like that in future we shall have to depend on aquatic plants. जैसे अलग अलग वेजिटेबल्स है या फिर फ्रूट्स है जिन पर हम फूड के लिए डिपेंड है, वैसे कई सालों के बाद हो सकता है कि पॉपुलेशन इतना बढ़ जाएगा और उसके लिए हमें बाकी प्लांट जो है एक्वेटिक उन पर भी डिपेंड रहना हो सकता है, डिपेंड रहना पड़ सकता है. Now the next thing, animals. In figure 8.13 we have seen that an ass carrying a load. So man makes use of animals for a variety of reasons, and you people already learnt about that in 5th standard CVS part 2, how the dog started being with the human being, which was the first animal tamed by the human being, and then humans started friendship with the animals for their own purposes. So horse, oxen, camel, asses, etc. are the animals employed for plowing, riding, transporting goods, for moving goods from one place to another place. Nowadays we are having number of vehicles, loading vehicles, but if we talk about the past, then the human life totally depend on these animals for moving for one place to another place. Then the goats, cows, buffaloes are used as milk animals. Then meat, eggs, bone, powder, hide, etc. are other products we get from animals. So animals provide milk, meat, hide and skins, wool, etc. They are also used for agriculture and transportation. Nowadays, the main use of animals in the agriculture is very important. In India, agriculture is totally dependent on the animals like oxen. They are a source of foreign exchange. So food for humans and other animals. Cows and goats make milk, sheep make wool used for clothes. So these are the uses of animals, and that's why animals are also under the heading of the natural resources. The next thing, minerals. In figure 8.7, which shows us that rock is being loaded into a truck from the mining area, and we have seen earlier that rock is a mixture of minerals. Rock is a mixture of minerals. So if we go for the definition of the minerals, then minerals provide the material. What it provides? It provides the material used to make most of the things of industrial based society: roads, cars, computers, fertilizers and many more things. So minerals are inorganic substances. Minerals are inorganic substances that form in naturally occurring chemical processes. In the higher standards, you people will learn in detail about the minerals and the types of minerals and the chemical processes of forming minerals. But here you just keep in mind that minerals are inorganic substances that form in naturally occurring chemical processes. Minerals are generally classified as metallic and non-metallic minerals. Metallic minerals are used for obtaining different metals such as iron, bauxite. And if we talk about the non-metallic minerals, then these minerals are used in obtaining various chemicals like gypsum, rock salt, etc. Here now on the screen you can see the difference between the metallic minerals and the non-metallic minerals. So metallic minerals economically more valuable, and non-metallic minerals economically less valuable, except power resources, for example like oil, gas and coal. Metallic minerals are generally hard, tough and shining. Non-metallic minerals soft, rough and may not shine. Can change shape without breaking. मेटेलिक मिनरल्स को बिना ब्रेक किए ही उनका शेप चेंज हो सकता है, बट इन नॉन मेटेलिक मिनरल्स ब्रेक्स अवे व्हेन शेप इज चेंज्ड. उनके शेप को चेंज करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो वो टूट जाते हैं. Good thermal and electrical conductors. Metallic minerals are good thermal and electrical conductors, and the non-metallic minerals poor thermal and electrical conductors. It means that through metallic minerals electricity can pass. Metallic minerals more reactive with water, and non-metallic minerals less reactive with water. So these are the differentiate points between the metallic minerals and non-metallic minerals. Now the next one, in all the figures except for fishing, all the activities of obtaining natural resources are being carried out on land. So finally we are talking about the land. Land is the most fundamental resource without which we can't imagine the things required to support life, because it is supporting life. प्लांट्स जो है वो लैंड पे ही आएंगे, जैसे सॉइल है, हम लोग भी लैंड पे ही सेटल है. सो लैंड इज द मोस्ट फंडामेंटल रिसोर्स रिक्वायर्ड टू सपोर्ट लाइफ, बट ओनली अ स्मॉल परसेंटेज ऑफ द लैंड surface is suitable for habitation. And on the basis of the characteristics and utilization, two things are important: characteristics and utilization of the land, the country determines its land use pattern. But land distribution is quite uneven throughout the world. It is not same everywhere. So land is an invaluable resource. Living things that are born on land grow, live and die on land itself. जैसे हमारा जन्म ज़मीन पे होता है, हम बड़े भी वहीं पर होते हैं, हम पूरी लाइफ जीते वहीं पर है, और हमारी जब मृत्यु होती है, डेथ होती है, तो भी यहीं पर होती है. सो लिविंग थिंग्स दैट आर बॉर्न ऑन लैंड ग्रो, live and die on land itself. So land is an invaluable resource, and that is why it is sold or bought. उसे बेचा जा सकता है, खरीदा जा सकता है. It is having value. So obtaining land at strategic locations, nowadays today land near the cities or somewhere near the factories having more price. So using it for construction as well as trade are some other issues of this resource. So depending on the characteristics like physiography, soil, climate, minerals and availability of water in different regions of the world, land is used for various purposes. Now on the screen you can see land utilization patterns. In that cultivable land, जिसमें खेती की जा सकती है, then the forest area, land used for construction, and the fallow land where agriculture is not possible on that much percentage. So depending on the characteristics like physiography, soil, climate, minerals and availability of water in different regions of the world, land is used for various purposes. Depend on the physiography. अगर रहने के लिए अच्छी जगह है तो वहाँ पर रहा जा सकता है, अगर फैक्ट्री खड़ी करने के लिए अच्छी जगह है तो वहाँ पर फैक्ट्री खड़ी होगी, अगर खेती के लिए अच्छी जगह है तो वहाँ पर खेती की जाएगी. Depends on the characteristics. The proportion of land on earth is 29.20% only. If you talk about the percentage on the land on the earth, then it is 29.20. ये जो दिख रहा है हमें लैंड, ये सब जो लैंड दिख रहा है, it is 29.20%, and all other everywhere there is water. So depending on the characteristics of land and climate, various living things are found on the land in different proportions, not same everywhere. For example, kangaroos are not in the India, नहीं पाए जाते हैं, and the lion and the tiger only in India. ये दोनों एनिमल ऐसे है कि सिर्फ इंडिया में ही पाए जाते हैं. ऑल अदर कंट्रीज में एक तो टाइगर होंगे या फिर लायन होंगे. So the distribution of these living organisms including humans is not uniform, means not same everywhere. The distribution of these living organisms including humans is not uniform. हर जगह पे same population नहीं है, and it is because of the characteristics of land and climate. Next thing, all living things try to adopt the various geographical conditions like rocky terrain, then the steep slopes, flat plains, mountainous regions, forest covered areas, river basins, etc. Man alone attempts to make changes. This one is very important sentence. Man alone attempts to make changes in the prevailing conditions to suit his needs. We people are continuously trying to change the land, to make it easy, to make it comfortable to live and to grow. बाकी एनिमल्स को हमने देखा है कि वो जिस तरह की कंडीशन है उसमें रह लेते हैं, क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन हो या फिर घर, जैसे हम बड़ी बड़ी बिल्डिंग्स बनाते हैं या फिर अलग अलग टाइप्स के घर जो अभी आपको स्क्रीन पे दिख रहे हैं, ये सारी चीज़ों में बाकी एनिमल्स नहीं पड़ते हैं. बट द मैन अलोन attempts to make changes in the prevailing conditions to suit his needs. Why we are doing all these things? To suit our needs. Next thing, every living thing makes use of natural resources according to its need. Not only human being but all other animals in the world making use of natural resources according to its need. For example, water. It is required not only for the human being but for all other animals also. Not only for the animals but for plants also. Plants को भी पानी चाहिए to grow. So every living thing makes use of natural resources according to its need. However, man started using many of these resources for himself alone, with the help of his intellectual power. We are continuously using the natural resources. We are changing, we are converting its form to fulfill our needs. But the increased population and the greed of humans led to exploitative use of resources, and this begin to upset the balance in nature. So this means that it is necessary that man also must use the natural resources only according to his needs and in a judicious manner. Again, the two words are very important. While using natural resources, we should think about the all other things on the earth also, or all other living things on the earth also. Like while using water, हमें उसे waste नहीं करना चाहिए. So the word judicious manner is very important here. It is not only for the human being, any natural resources, which is not only for the human being, it is for all other living things also. So while using these resources, one should not be greedy like human being, because it is continuously imbalancing the nature. It also create problems like the scarcity of water. Nowadays each and every country in the world facing problem of water, not only in the particular country but in the different parts of the country. In India also we are facing the problem of water in the many villages. So while doing all these things, it is very important to think twice about the all other things also, all other living things also, and we should use these resources in a judicious manner and according to the needs only. Available है इसलिए waste करना is not the thing, otherwise it will create some serious trouble not only to the human being but for the all other animals also. So now here in this topic, we people have learnt about the concept of natural resources, and then by using and discussing on some pictures, we discussed about the soil as a natural resource, water as a natural resource, then forest as a natural resource, then the minerals, and also the role of animals in making our life smooth and comfortable. We are continuously using the animals. And then the very important thing about the forest, because forest is nothing but the vegetation and habitat for all other animals. So forest continuously trying to balance the nature. So forest is very important thing in our life. And next to that, we discussed about the marine vegetation and the minerals and the land as a natural resource. So here now today we are going to stop.
Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications.
So my dear students, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.